Mark Doughty, athletic trainer at Newark High School.
Awesome. All right, how did you first get involved with the OATA?
Well, when I rolled into Ohio, fresh from grad school, Dale Googans, one of the godfathers of athletic training in Ohio, was right down the road, and he kind of took me under his wing and just brought me right into the association. And quite honestly, our athletic director who hired me at Newark was big into getting involved in your profession, and he really encouraged it, so kind of made it easy.
Yeah. Where did you go to grad school?
University of Arizona.
Oh, wow. Quite a ways away. Were you one of the original 28, or you came in after that?
I came in 2 months after the first meeting. Yeah, I got here in August of '84. I think they met maybe in June or May of '84, so I just missed being
Nice. Got right involved, though.
Yes.
What's the biggest change you've seen in athletic training?
Technology. When you're in medicine, any kind of medical field, it changes on a monthly basis, weekly basis sometimes. But the technology is just, so much better in what we do as far as electronic records, and it's just better for patient care. So,
Have you made those adaptations in your training room?
yeah, we got into, I like doing that stuff. So we got, I think my first computer was like a Commodore 64 or something, and we designed our own spreadsheets to put in treatment. I just hated writing all that stuff down all the time, and it's harder to track that way.
Yeah.
So we got in pretty early, and then now we have commercial software that we use like everybody else. But
Awesome. If you could change one thing in athletic training, what would it be?
I think the perception that we have to do everything for everybody. We need to become ourselves. We need to become more in tune with being the profession that we are, and not trying to be everything for everybody. I think that's a commonality amongst our people. Even the young people coming out today feel like you got to do it all, and you can't say no, and there has to be a life job balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to do. I mean, we're all dealing with kids and athletes, and particularly in high school, you feel like you got to be available 24/7. But
Yeah, I had that issue this year at my high school. So how did you, as a young professional, how did you find that balance in your career? Separating yourself from...
I probably didn't do a very good job of it. I was fortunate enough, again, that the support at Newark was fantastic from the administration, so I got an assistant fairly early on. I had young kids, and they were involved in things, and we just switched coverages and that. But it wasn't uncommon for someone to pull into my driveway on a Sunday afternoon and look at their son or daughter. And some of that, it's good and it's bad. It's good that the community feels that confident in you I get calls all the time. Hey, we don't want to go to the doctor until you look at him to see if we really need to go, kind of thing. That's the double-edged sword of it. You're respected enough that they want to come to you, but by the same token, Sunday afternoon you're doing family stuff. It's kind of, it's like, wow.
Yeah, definitely. So, do you have any pearls of wisdom for younger members?
I think that's it. Just what we were talking about is make sure that you don't extend yourself too much, because burnout has been big in our profession, and some of that is because you feel like you have to be there all the time. The example is our boys basketball team comes in the morning and works out during the season. Well, they know I'm not coming in at 6:30 because I'm going to be there, from 10 o'clock till 7 o'clock that night. And he understands that. But you have to set those boundaries early.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I could tell young people coming out anything, and I know you come out, you're enthusiastic and you want to make a great impression, but you have to set those limits early, because it's like everything else, once you extend that, that's what's expected of you. And the other one is get involved early. Be involved with your profession, because that's the only way you can make an impact.
What is one quote you are known for, or a phrase that you've repeated throughout your career?
If you're on time, you're 15 minutes late. That is, kid walks in the door, I tell them to be there at 5, they come in at 5, I'm like, you're late. No, I'm not. Yeah, you are. So So we'll make sure Coach knows that and have a little running.
What are your favorite memories from being involved in the OATA?
Oh, just the people that you get to meet and work with. I mean, if you're not involved, you don't get to meet the people from Cincinnati and Dayton and Cleveland and Toledo. I mean, if you're in your own little world, you just don't get it. And they bring great knowledge. The best part is right out there, sitting out there and just talking with your colleagues and people you don't get to see all the time. I mean, that's the best part of it, easily.
Explain your current involvement in OATA. What are you currently doing?
I'm not quite as involved as I used to be. I'm the chair of the Hall of Fame committee. I've been an officer in the past. I've been on the legislative committee. This committee takes a decent amount of time, so to concentrate on that, this is the only committee I'm on at this point. But I'm also on, and it's outside the OAT, but I'm also on the BOC Standards Committee. So again, that's that balance. You don't want to spread yourself too thin, and those two committees demand a lot of time. So I feel like that's where I need to be at this point.
Yeah.
So I kind of pared back some of the others so I can focus on these committees.
What is the biggest challenge you've seen or experienced in your career? It can be personally or for the athletic training profession overall.
Biggest challenge. I think it's just making sure that you're taking care of the core stuff that needs to be taken care of. Again, not spreading yourself thin. I keep going back there, but you need to get yourself focused, and that's personal and professional. Again, I went through a period of time. My kids were very involved. They were involved in band. They were involved in athletics. And as an athletic trainer, and I'm covering one event and I'm missing them get to participate. It's a very short period of time. So you got to get focused and get that balance. And I think that was the biggest challenge. And again, my wife has been extremely supportive. I did a great job raising my kids while I'm not around. But striking that balance where I could spend time and make sure I was at their events, that was an extreme challenge. But
yeah, you made it work.
It was worth it. Yeah. It was worth all the extra time.
Good. What is the best part of being an athletic trainer?
Well, there's two things. Working with great people, like all these people that you're interviewing, but probably most importantly is, in my situation, from a high school standpoint, are the kids and the parents. Because at this level, and again, I've been in the same place for 30 years, so everybody knows who I am, and I've got kids of kids now starting to come through. My athletic director, actually, who's my boss, which is kind of weird, was a basketball player at Newark High School. So I treated all his injuries, and now he's my supervisor. But the best part, and I just told the kids this the other day when I went through a little retirement thing, which I'm retired but not, is seeing a kid recover from a significant injury and participate again, and just being a part of that whole thing. The one thing about high school athletics, to me, that's important, I think, is you work every day and you cover practices, but being at the events and watching those kids who worked really hard during the week, maybe have come back from an injury, but the kids, and watch them participate at this level is very rewarding.
I agree. What does it mean to be an athletic trainer to you?
That's a tough question. I think it means, to me, we're a integral part of the medical community, and I think we're getting closer and closer to being recognized as that. The physicians do. I think we're getting to the point now we've been around long enough, and there's enough of us out there that from the parents, and again, kids who have kids who have come through with athletic trainers at a lot of places. I think that's the significance.
Well, I like to ask this question. How has public recognition changed from when you first were in the profession to now? How would you say?
Well, I think there's a higher level of understanding of what we bring to the table. you know, there was a day, I notice it more now, I'm not sure why, I just do, where you hear people say athletic trainer on media, not all the time,
Mhm.
but a lot more than it used to be.
Mhm.
And it's just, I think there's a bigger level of respect. Again, that goes back to the fact that a lot of these people have been around and have known athletic trainers, or they were athletes in high school and knew an athletic trainer. You know, my biggest wish right now is that we get more ATs out into high schools. That's where we really affect the change, because once you've had an athletic trainer on, you know, those people understand what we bring to the table, who have had it.
Mhm.
So
I agree.
you know, we get them down in high schools and middle schools dealing with kids. And we're at Newark, we deal with a lot of middle school athletes, so, you know, we get to see a lot of parents and kids. So.
Yeah. Looking back, would you change something about your career? If so, what would it be and why?
You know, I don't think I would. My undergrad is from West Virginia, and, you know, I worked Division I football games on the sideline, you know, the big flash and bang that goes with that whole scenario. When I come out of grad school and I got this job opportunity, it was, yeah, this will be good for a couple of years, work in high school, get a little experience, and then let's move on to the big time. But yeah, you know, looking back, being 30 years at the same place, and you know, really building a program from the ground up, yeah, I really don't know how I would change anything that would have made my career any better at this point.
Awesome. Were you an author, creator, or inventor of something?
I've written a couple articles. Now, this has been years ago, that were published in the NATA journal. Did create a glove. We had an athlete, one of our coach's sons, had been playing summer baseball when I got there. He was a football player, and he had shattered his arm. He reached for a thrown ball on a steal play, and a kid ran into him and shattered his arm. We had some nerve damage where he couldn't open his hand. So we designed a glove with Velcro straps, and it would open his hand for him so he could play quarterback. And then he ended up having surgery to correct that after the season, but you know, that was one of the articles. So
That's
we kind of
awesome.
invented something and wrote about it.
That sounds really cool.
I mean, and that's the beauty of the profession. Is
Yeah.
you get to do some of that creative stuff that